Welcome to Good Morning Hospitality, your one-stop shop for the latest news, noteworthy trends, and thought-provoking discussions across the industry. From hotels to short-term rentals to all things travel and hospitality, you'll find each episode equips you with the information that you need to start your week. Join us on Good Morning Hospitality every Wednesday, wherever you get your podcasts. Woo! Good morning. Or should I say buongiorno?
Buongiorno, Sara.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I should have a cappuccino next to me in honor of you.
Un espresso, per favore.
Oh, wow.
Grazie. Grazie mille.
Grazie. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, first of all, welcome back.
Thank you. Just got back. Yes, last night from Florence, Italy. What an amazing quick trip, guys. Sarah said, inspired me. I did a quick one. Left Friday night, got there Saturday, Sunday, full of energy, enjoyed everything. Maybe a little too much fun on that second day, and then had to recover on the third day.
Whoa.
It was a lot of fun, though.
Wait, did you meet strangers and have hang out with
I met strangers. I hung out with people. I had dinner at this really cool place called La Giostra, where the owner is like a rock star in Florence. And I had a lot of people tell me to go there, but you need reservations 3 months in advance. But I showed up, said what I was doing there, and they're like, all right, wait 30 minutes. We put you at a little table, and that little table was next to these two women that were travel advisors, and we get to start talking about travel and all the cool things that we're doing, and a lot of fun. So,
oh my gosh, I love this. I have to say, I was watching along on the stories, and it made me so happy to just see you were out there just exploring and doing it. I was like watching all the stories. It was great.
I've never done that before, and it made me, I'll tell you something. I felt like I was traveling with a bunch of people because I've never posted stories like that all day consistently. And then everyone's messaging me saying, show more stories, continue doing it. This is so cool. Here's a recommendation. It was a lot of fun.
People love to watch stories in real time of one traveling. And as you said, people be like, oh my gosh, you should go here. You should go here. It happens all the time. And that's one of the things. I mean, I've obviously been doing that for a very long time, but when I travel, I mean, yes, okay, engagement goes up, but again, as you mentioned, next thing you know, oh my gosh, I have a friend that's there, and the next thing you know, offline, people are connecting, and it's great. It's fun too, and you do feel like you're traveling with people because you've got people.
I felt like I was actually traveling with people, not by myself. Because the day I didn't do it, I was like, oh, I don't have my whole crew with me now, but I needed a day just to explore and really watch and see and journal and think and be inspired by the amazing art. And it was just really, really cool. And I want to give a shout out to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because as kids, I don't know if you watched that show, but we learned who Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello, Michelangelo, all are artists that you see all around Florence. And so as I was walking around, I was like, oh, I know Donatello's statue and Leonardo da Vinci's art. And I saw Michelangelo in his tomb and saw the statue of David. I was like, thank you, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, for all that inspiration and teaching me the artists we didn't even know we were watching.
I can't believe that is what you were thinking. Who was your favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle?
Oh, now I'm going to say Michelangelo, of course, right? But they were eating pizza, right? All these Italian things. So as I said,
mine was Leonardo because he had the blue.
Yes.
Whatever.
But I will have to say, there's so many great things, and the hospitality there, amazing in that city. Everyone, I thought it was going to be a little challenging. You have to speak Italian. Not everyone knows, I'm going to speak English with you. I tried to continue speaking Italian. No, we can talk to you in English. And we'll help you. But the food was great. Every little place I walked into was amazing. And the weight of history hits you in those kind of places, which I just love, right?
Doesn't it?
So it really is amazing to sit in a church from the year 1200 and have the Michelangelo's tomb there, and Machiavelli right there, and all these people you learn about sitting there and just kind of taking it in. So that's my TED Talk. I'm learning. I may have to start giving one like you did one day, Sarah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I love that. Whenever I'm in a place like that, I'll just sit back and think the sheer number of people that we have so much technology at our fingertips and machines and all the stuff that can help lift things. And then it's you look at that and you're like, how did they do this with people with not as much? It's super fascinating to me. I mean, it had to be constructed and then built and then all of that.
Paul,
It's
man,
wild.
they were hidden history teachers. You're right, Paul. I didn't realize it until I was like, I was brainwashed young. I knew all these artists out here. But it's true. Like, there's also the other thing that reminds me. I was in Buenos Aires. Was it back
Yeah.
in May? Then Italy. Now I really want to find more of these third places that people all congregate and hang out, be on the streets
Mhm.
more. I know some of the big cities have it. Like I'm in Miami, they have starting to pop up a little more here and here there. But I think it makes a big difference in just getting to know people. Like we see this epidemic of people saying they're lonely and alone and don't have places to go. I saw people just hanging out and walking and having an espresso and having a gelato at different times of the day, just hanging out and walking. It was just amazing to see all these different cultures and people doing that, just hanging.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a shift into that next year in the United States. I feel like the combination. So here's, I mean, I have a lot of things, but I'll keep it very brief. Generally, in other countries, especially ones that you were mentioning, whether it's in Europe, etc. Also, the cities are smaller than a lot of them in the United States.
Yes.
So you can walk places, you can take the metro, and so your interaction is going to be very, very different. Whereas in the US, it's a spread out country. Like think about how large a city is in like Texas, for example. Everything's bigger in Texas. Like you have to drive places. Los Angeles, people are like, oh my
Car
gosh, it's so
culture.
spread out.
Mhm.
Car culture, totally. But it's like car culture, then it's just like you by yourself in your vehicle, and you have to go specifically to go congregate with individuals. So I do feel like and I do hope that this is the case, but I do feel like there will be a shift, certainly within the United States and the US. Hopefully mentality that like we will be seeking more ways to congregate together and put down the phones and do that, and hopefully get a little bit more inspired by our friends in other countries and other cultures.
Yep, I love it. We'll start hosting our own hospitality hangouts, Sarah. We'll do some
Oh,
coming up.
I'm into it.
I think it'd be cool.
Any chance for me to come hang out over there? That's perfect.
We'll make it happen. Well, we got a lot of stories. That's enough coffee talk. I'm sure we bored everyone with my travel stories, but it was
Oh,
fun.
so boring. Not
Um,
anyway.
but I do have some other things to say about one of the stories later on about the AI and how I used AI on the trip. So.
Oh, can't wait to hear, and hopefully it worked for you. Okay. Yeah, let's dive into it. So our first topic here, this was huge. This hit the airwaves yesterday, and I mean it like I got so excited about this because I don't think that we've seen something this big in the world of like hotels in a long time. So Hilton, they have overhauled their loyalty program. And what is so great about this is basically what they did is they've made it easier to get loyalty, especially if you're like a road warrior, you're traveling more frequently, but then they've added an extra tier, and that extra tier where if once you hit that amount, and they have a combination as far as night stays and dollar spend, which makes sense, reminds us of the good old days with airlines. But then once you hit that tier, whenever you book your hotel, your upgrade immediately, they immediately give you your upgrade. And I think that's like, we've never seen that in hotels before. Like it's based on availability upon check-in, da da da.
Yeah.
So I like that was like a giant mic drop. It was like, okay, Hilton's upgrading. Everybody come on board. So
Yeah, I think it's amazing, right? Because that was one of the things that we heard so much from other loyalty programs. Like, what's really loyalty? If I can't get that room upgrade, it's unavailability. I'm not getting the things that I'm actually want. How can I get there? And I also like that they're using dollar amounts now too, and they're also saying you don't have to spend you don't have to have as many nights as you did in the past to get
correct.
there, which I think is great too, because it really will motivate people to say, all right, let me start getting some of these things, because some of those loyalty programs, you're like, man, how am I ever going to get to that level? And you just don't sign up. You're like, all right, I'm not going to even use these.
Or you sign up, but it's like it just is like, okay, well, I don't know. I mean, for me, it's as much as I stay like, and I have my Marriott and Hilton. I also have IHG. I mean, I have one wherever I go, but it's, it's the bare minimum that I'm getting for status. I actually finally just hit another tier with Marriott, and I was like, cool. What does this get me? So I've seen a little bit of a difference, but I love that they're doing this. Hilton, this is big news. And I do feel like a lot of the other brands are going to be changing their programs next year. And that's huge. I don't know. I'm so excited about this.
Yeah, I think that what it is with Hilton is that they're always leading the charge. We have another story about them coming up, but they really are creative. Their CEO seems to be in tune with what customers are saying, the guests are saying, what his team is saying, and getting that feedback and really pushing through. And
Yeah.
so for me, I think that like I haven't been using Hilton all that much, but their brands are really starting to pop up everywhere around South
Totally.
Florida where I'm at. Like the Waldorf Astoria brand is really making a big push.
Yep.
You see that coming, but they're also saying that there's some very big places that people want to stay, and they're trying to figure out how to balance that all out. Because in Hawaii and Miami and other places, there's a lot of requests to stay in those hotels. But how do you give everyone loyalty upgrades?
Yeah,
That's most
sure.
popular. So they're capping those things there.
Totally. No, they have to cap them. And to be fair, I mean, I understand it. Like, even if you're looking at airlines, like at a certain point, it's like, okay, well, if, I know with my status with Delta, as soon as I book, I'm immediately upgraded to the next tier, my Delta like Comfort Plus, and then Delta Comfort. And then next thing you know, most likely I'll get upgraded to first. But then if you've got a whole lot of people that are in my status, why would we end up paying for first? When we're like, we'll just risk it. So obviously the companies still need to make money. So they do need to have people to be paying for these premium products, but to at least make it more exciting and maybe increasing the chances, I think just gets people more engaged. They're re-engaging their travelers into their ecosystem. And I'm here for it.
I love it. They're rewarding the loyalty, right? How do you remain loyal to someone? Help me actually get the things that I want in your program, and I will continue coming back. That's what I've heard a lot of people say. So now, all right, everyone else has to see what they do. Let's see how they follow.
Totally. So why don't we go on to our next topic here? Also with our friends over at Hilton as well as Marriott, they have been responding to the hotel talent crisis. So both companies are rolling out new recruitment, retention, and training initiatives, kind of focusing on, I like this, the upskilling, career development, and sort of improved workplace culture. So what kind of stood out for you from this? This is great.
Yeah, I think this goes back to when we started talking way back in 2000 during the pandemic, and people who had been ultra, this is my family. I'm here. I'm working in this hotel for 20, 30, 40 years. And all of a sudden you're gone. You're out. And I think that scared a lot of people. And these hotels realized that. And so it took a long time now, these 5 years, to get people back in. And a lot of hotels have done a great job of rewarding the team members, really getting people in. But now Hilton has been rewarded as one of the best places to work. I think it was top 5 out of all companies in the country. And they were the only one in the top 25. And they're really making a big push of saying, all right, Sarah, you're going to start with us as a front desk agent. And if you want to become a general manager, here's the program. And if you want to become a food and beverage director or a sales director, whatever those positions are, here's what we can do for you. And if you want to travel the world, you can travel with us because there's so many different places we can put you to work, and you can learn new cultures and new experiences. That's one thing that I didn't do in my early 20s. I worked at other hotels because I didn't want to leave Miami, but looking back, maybe I should have gone to check out some other cities and seen what was going on in those places. Totally,
because it is such an interesting thing. And by the way, Hilton was number 1, Marriott was number 5 as far as great places to work. So shout out to both of them for that. That's awesome. But you're right. Like I definitely saw people in our industry that would go and they worked in the Maldives, and they went to Japan, and then they were in New York, and then they were wherever it was. And it's so fascinating versus staying in one city. But at the same time, even if you work at different properties in the same city, I still think that there's a lot of value for that. Sometimes I'd see those individuals that would come out of, hotel school. They'd start at a hotel brand, and then they'd stay with it. And they maybe grew, but in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, just pop over somewhere else just for something a little bit of something different and for context. But it's great to see. And I mean, I don't know, like a lot of times when I travel to these places, we do still see a lot of those individuals that have been working at these companies for a very long time. And those perks and those benefits are very real.
Yes, they are. And so I really think too, being able to stay at other hotels, like you mentioned, is one of the big perks. Like I did use that, but then there were some times where you get blocked. Like you couldn't go to like the flagship hotel, or you couldn't go to the nicest hotels, but they're understanding now, like you can go do these things.
Yes.
And Brian's saying such an important step. We've had the ability to efficiently manage the inventory for a decade. This is how you make the guests truly feel like their status matters. So back to the last story. So
yes,
Brian, thank you for that comment.
And by the way, shout out to Brian.
Yeah.
Thanks for him to joining. So I just have to say thank you, Brian, for joining.
And I want to put up this so we can squash it. We have people hating on YouTube. Will bring this up so we can like publicly shame people. DeWilder says, dude, he's talking to me. It looks like I have I don't even know, some kind of huffing, what do you say? A rampant huffing habit, right? So you have people who hate on here during live shows. And I just want to say, everyone, don't be afraid to put out content. Even if you have haters out there, make sure that you still put out the stuff because it makes you feel good and you're helping others. So thank you for all of our fans out there. But it is amazing to see how people take the time out of their day to send a hateful comment.
Don't worry, Steve. I blocked them. So no more.
It's all right. I just like seeing these comments that come up because we don't share all the live comments, but it's just.
No, we don't.
Don't worry. Put out content. Don't worry about the haters. They're sitting in their underwear at their grandmother's house in a basement somewhere posting on there.
That's one.
Amazing. I like Moody Johnson, though. This lady is just dynamite. She is.
Dynamite. Yeah, I'm a firecracker. That's all right.
Anyway, that's my talk there for put out your content. You're going to have haters. And if you didn't make it if you don't have haters. So.
Oh, my God. No, totally. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. I mean, that's so true. You definitely, well, that's when you have the pushback. So, yeah. Anyway, so going back to this, look, I'm glad to see that they are making such initiatives. Obviously, Marriott and Hilton are such leaders in this space, and it's so fascinating. We're a people industry. That's what we are. And so it's great that after just a lot of the challenges from the pandemic when it comes to training and hiring, that we're seeing that they're really hyper focusing on this. And so it's like, look, we want to make sure the people come first, which has always been what it should be. But I think sometimes we just have to like be extra focused at times. So kudos to them.
So what's funny, I keep looking at the comments come through. But anyway, what's funny is that what I like seeing this is that they're taking Hilton and Marriott are really listening to their team members. And they're saying, we want them to buy in. We want them to have a say in what goes on. They're taking their advice. They're using it within their hotels. It's a lot of fun to see that's what they're doing now, because when you're coming up in the industry, you have ideas, and sometimes every one of them gets squashed by a manager or a director or somebody, and your idea is actually a really good one. So I like that they're making this available so they can share things and they can really celebrate people. So it looks awesome. I'm happy that that's what they're doing.
Yes. Likewise. Okay, let's go on to this next topic here, because this is something I definitely also feel very strongly about. Look, we know this elephant in the room. The U.S. has really struggled with tourism this past year, and we've got big things coming up. We've got World Cup, we've got the Olympics, and as an effort to make the United States more attractive in a time that we've been deemed less attractive for a variety of reasons, from economic to political to all of the above. Now the U.S. is announcing that they are fast tracking visa appointments for those individuals that have tickets to the World Cup. So they're really making a push for this, that if you have tickets to the World Cup, they're going to make it easier for individuals to get visas so that they can come into the United States. Now, it's not an ultimate guarantee that you get a visa, but I like that they're doing this. I think that we've needed something like this. So
yeah, I agree. And they said, Marco Rubio came out and said, look, we're still going to be screening everybody. We're not going to be just letting everybody in, but do not wait until the last minute. So if you already have tickets, make sure you start going through this process now, because we do want to host everyone here in the US and show them a great time. In my hometown of Miami, we've got, I think, 7 of the games here is what I recall. And so I've had a lot of international friends already asking about hotels and staying. And I said, remind them, make sure you've got everything you need to get here so that you don't get to the airport that day and it doesn't work.
Yeah. I mean, look, they'll definitely have everything all set in place by the time we get there, but I don't know. I'm curious. I'm very curious. I mean, being in Los Angeles, one of the host cities for World Cup, I know that that's the big thing that everybody is talking about. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Are you a fan of the World Cup?
I like watching the World Cup. I think it's a lot of fun, especially because every 4 years. And I remember we're even working in hotels, like the back of the house, we would have the TVs on, because a lot of the people that work in hotels are all international, and it's like their religion growing up is the World Cup and soccer and those things. Like US, we're slowly catching up now with MLS and having Messi here in Miami, and it's kind of getting into the culture here. But I love seeing how passionate all the team members were. They would be watching it. We had like flag parades in the back of house at a lot of hotels. We would have all these things going on. So I love the celebrations and the camaraderie and how you can really cheer on your country and see how they do. So I love seeing it, and I'm excited that it's coming here because I remember it the last time I was here in 1994 and having family members from other countries
Okay.
come here and just travel around.
Yeah.
And, I have family members from Venezuela. My mom's from there. And so they were cheering for Brazil because their team in Venezuela was not that good, but they would cheer Brazil and just follow them around the whole country. And they had a great experience learning about the US, but also cheering on their team. And so I think it was just a lot of fun. So I'm hoping it goes really well again this year.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping so too. It's wild because it is such a it's such a phenomenon. Like people are so into it. I'm not, I grew up an only child, female with a single mom parent. Like
Mhm.
we didn't get into sports as much, growing
Yeah.
up. We were definitely an artist household, but I do love to see this because it is, I mean, it's a big part of the economy globally.
Yeah.
And I also love to see how it brings people together. So, and inspires people to travel to different destinations.
It's
So
big. 'Cause I just going into two, I was in Munich airport, and then when I landed in Florence, they have stores there just for their like soccer teams, right? In the
yeah,
airports and all around, and people really support. So it's part of the culture of everyday living over in Europe and Africa and other countries everywhere. So I'm
yeah.
hoping it really takes off here even more.
I think it will. Okay, let's go on to our. Wow, where's the time gone?
I have
We
no
still have some more topics to go. So this is huge, actually. So Google, let's talk about what's going on with them. They are building agentic AI travel booking tools. So they're basically expanding what they've kind of built with their travel initiatives, so that basically they'll have AI systems that can help plan, price, coordinate, and then ultimately book trips autonomously. So okay, I'm gonna let you take the charge with this because I know you have a lot to say on
Let's
it.
start with this. We'll start with this part of the story. I love what
Yeah,
Google's doing. We had touched on it a couple of weeks ago, I
yeah,
think, on a little bit on this, but now they're starting to roll out the actual features. And
yeah, sure.
I think it's great because there's so many places to stay and so much information out there. And you work with travel advisor, you'd ask your friends or you put it on social media and you get advice. But this is a way where you can put in what you like and what times of day I want to leave and what kind of place I want to stay in. And here's some areas that I want to be in. And it'll start
Mhm.
creating your trip for you and then start booking it for you. And
Yeah,
I use ChatGPT for this current trip. I said, all right, this is what I want to do. Here's where I want to stay. Here's the price I want to pay for hotels. And it started making all these suggestions. And I picked everything
I
with
love
the
that.
help of AI, right? So that was part of that trip this trip that I used. And so I think we'll see this more and more and more. And I encourage people just to play with it and see what
Yeah,
it could do for you because sometimes it doesn't register of how this works. But I also want to give a shout out to Meta, the Facebook, company, and their Meta AI glasses, the Ray-Bans. I wore them everywhere
I
throughout my
was
trip.
watching your content with that. That was awesome.
Not only can you create content for people to watch, but as I'm walking through somewhere, I
Hmm.
say, "Hey Meta, I'm standing in front of Il Duomo. Give me a little history lesson and tour. I'm standing at this part of it. Which should I go right or left?" And then it gave me
No
a whole,
way.
"Hey, make a right and I'll explain to you." And it started telling me all about the history of the building and what I was looking at. And I did that in many places around Florence. And I was like, wow, this is really cool to have this in my ear, be able to have my own personal tour guide. And it also sees what you see because you can say, "Hey, Meta, what am I looking at?" And it'll snap a picture and then tell you, "Oh, this is this piece of artwork and this is who made it and this is the importance of it." And so, hey, I need directions to this restaurant. I don't look like a tourist looking down at my phone. Where am I? It's just telling me in my ear, make a right on this street. Now make a left. And 100 yards, you're going to be at this location. So amazing just for creating content, but also having it in your ear, the AI, and telling you, hey, I'm looking for one affogato that is on a small street around here. Where can I go? And it'll pull it up for you and you go. So I'm a big believer in using all of it. I think it's great.
Yeah,
And Paul saying agentic AI, huge for the hotel side of things.
totally.
Streamlining the booking process can make Google a go-to destination for booking. And so, Gloria, I'm
Glory.
excited for Meta Contacts. I agree with
Contacts.
the glasses are coming out where it's going to start projecting on the glasses. I know they're out now. You can book them or
Oh
buy
my
them. I
gosh,
think they're like
guys, we're living in the
$900.
future.
It was cool. I really loved having those glasses on because I'm not looking at my phone. I'm looking out into the
Yeah,
world
yeah,
through the glasses and staying
which is
more
a plus.
connected. It was great.
That is
Anyhow,
very cool.
that's
I
my
need to get a
shout on that.
pair. I don't have a
Yeah, you
pair
should
yet.
have one already.
Yeah,
You would
yeah,
like
I
them.
could. Yeah, no, I think I would like them. At some point I will. Yeah, we'll figure it. But yeah, it was very cool. I have to say because I was watching along on your content and I was like, how do you film that? And they're like, oh, his glasses. So
Yeah.
okay,
My wine
fun.
window video. I love that one. That was
Yeah,
my
that was
favorite.
great. That was great. They were so
Mhm.
cool. So cool. So I'm sure we'll definitely be seeing more of that. That was great. Okay. Well, should we kind of talk about some outrageous travel stories?
I think so because one of them made me laugh out loud about
Okay. Why don't you take the charge on this one?
which headline are we getting? Which headline are we putting up, Will? If we don't have
The
it.
one that made you laugh more.
All
I
right.
know.
I'm just going to read the headline. Let me open up the story itself
Yeah,
because
yeah,
this
yeah,
was
yeah.
crazy.
I know where you're going.
And here's the headline, everybody. A pig in Australia steals 18 beers from campers, gets drunk, and fights cow. That's the headline of the story of a feral pig that broke into a campground in Western Australia,
Yep.
guzzled down 18 beers, and then decided to start a fight with a local cow, resulting in the cow chasing the pig around a car and around all the campers. So for me, that's a great travel story. It sounds like it could have been one of my friends from college, this pig, but
I was just about to say this sounds very wait, was it definitely was it a pig or was it
I
a
don't
dude?
know, but it was pretty hilarious. But the pig was later reported sleeping his hangover off in shame under a tree.
Oh my god, in shame.
That's what it says in the story, which I love.
Shame. By the way, this was not the only pig story. This was another one, and I think it's a nice reminder of how things have shifted online. Actually, I was on a flight last week, and there was a cat on the flight just meowing the whole time. But this other one was an unruly pig flies first class, a 300-pound pig ended up traveling on a flight from Philadelphia to Seattle, which, by the way, is not a short flight. Supposedly as a therapeutic companion pet, but you can obviously imagine that the pig caused a lot of disturbance because it ended up running loose and squealing loudly, and then
Trying to get into the cockpit.
of course it tried to get into the cockpit. This is crazy.
I
Oh
love
my
it.
gosh.
I love these outrageous stories. And so, listeners and viewers, if you have any outrageous stories that you've seen or heard, send it to us here on LinkedIn or on YouTube or wherever you're watching this. We'd love to start adding this to our weekly show. We think it's fun and it's a good way to end and have a good laugh.
Totally. We should play a new game. Pig or human?
I like it.
Oh
I
my
like
god.
that pig. I'm getting wild and
We're
with those
getting
capers.
wild and crazy. All right. Okay. Well, let's do a quick real-time recap. You came back from Florence. I'm sure you have some wonderful things to say about that.
I do. And I want to give a shout out to the team on Lufthansa Airlines. That's what I'll say. It's a long flight, right? I think it was 11 and a half hours on the way back of one of
Yeah.
those legs.
Mhm.
And the team there really all smiles all the time, very
Mhm.
helpful. I had some issues with my seat. They came in, made it. I have to tell you offline too. I got to get your opinion on this, but it wasn't their fault. And they were so
Yeah.
embarrassed and they're like, oh my God, let me work on this for you. Let me get you this. But just their service on the plane, their smiles the entire time. I saw them deal with so many different types of guests and customers. And it makes you feel good when you're on a little tube flying through the air for hours and hours and hours, how nicely they did all the way through. So shout out to Lufthansa Airlines.
That's great. They are definitely a great airline. And I love, you're like, it was 11 and a half hours, which by the way is absolutely long. But for me, I'm like, once we start getting to 14 is when I'm like, is that like,
Well, my total was 14, and I was like, right? 'Cause
no.
the one stretch from Miami to Munich was that long.
Oh, that
So
was 14? Oh my
no,
God.
it was 11, and then I
Okay.
had to get to Florence with the wait time. It was a lot. But yeah, and Kelly saying pig versus Steve's college buddies. Ooh, I think we maybe even had this story happen in real life.
Ooh,
I
no,
was in a
no.
fraternity with a lot of secret lore, and I was president of that. So you never know what
Oh.
happens in there.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, too funny. Okay, well, my real-time recap. Oh my gosh, what was going on this week? I'm actually gonna say a shout out to the team over at the Lapeer Hotel
Very
in
nice.
West Hollywood. They have a restaurant there called Lady Hawk. The chef is Chef Charbel. He is Lebanese, as those that know me know I am half Lebanese. And my mom came in town, and like we had met before, actually, when I interviewed him when I was doing the podcast for Visit West Hollywood. So it was just this like whole wonderful moment, and like the hospitality and all the wonderful things. It was just it's probably one of my favorite low-key hotels to go to in the city, which is saying a lot because there's obviously a lot of options. But again, they get it. Like they get it. They totally own their brand. It's funky. It's cool. But they are consistent with their service. By the way, all the way from valet to bussers cleaning the tables. So everybody was exceptional all the way around. So shout out to the team over at the Lapeer Hotel in West Hollywood.
Good job with the hospitality out there, everybody, all over the world.
Totally.
Let's see. So we got our quote of the week.
Yeah, you want to do that?
Let's do it. So let's see. We got a funny one here today. So it says, if hospitality teaches us anything, it's that nothing is certain except check-in, check-out, and someone stealing the bathrobes. And that is anonymous. We don't know who said that. I'm going to say it's Will Slickers who said that.
Stealing the bathrobes. Oh,
You
God.
get charged. Even if you take them, you're getting charged, people.
You're definitely
So,
getting
be
charged.
careful.
And everybody knows I'm not a bathrobe person anyway. So I find that so
Well, that's true.
silly.
Hospitality, everything. Yes, you have check-in and check-out and all these crazy, but there's so many crazy things that happen in hotels. You never know what you're going to come into. You know, there were certain days that I would go to a hotel. Oh, it's going to be a slow day today. And that would not be the case.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. No, it would just be, it's like, oh man, I did not wake up and choose crazy today. Crazy
A
chose
lot of people
me.
do.
That's true. And they need to stay home. No, I'm kidding. We love everybody when they play within the lines. Anyway,
Well, we had a great show today. I appreciate everyone joining in the comments, even to all these wild ones that you guys are not
we
seeing.
got some
coming
wild
through
ones.
today.
I think that's from doing the vertical video, guys.
I
All
think
right.
the vertical video came through. So
Sure.
let's see. I'm gonna just give them shout outs because if they're watching, hey, Moody Johnson, and thank you for all the comments, and Austin
thanks.
Gentile, and all these other people that love to throw out these crazy statements on here. Thanks for joining. It helps us for sure on the algorithm. I appreciate you.
Yeah, totally. Bring it. Bring it. Bring
Yeah.
your friends next time.
Yeah. But until next week, hey, stay
Stay
hospitable, everybody.
hospitable. We're getting so good.
We are.
Bye.